Hello, how to solve this cascaded exponential problem? This is 2 power 3 power 4 power n, and this equals 512. We are solving for the value of n that satisfies this equation. Now, when you have an exponential function such as this, if you have a power b, power c, power d, and this goes forward, what you need to do is to consider the top two exponents. In this case, we have c power d. So you need to evaluate this c power d before you consider the b. So that is exactly what we are going to do here. But before then, ensure that you express this 512 in its exponential form. So you have 2 to the power of 3 to the power of 4 to the power of n, and this equals 512. 512 is simply 2 to the power of 9. How did I know it? Remember, if you have 2 to the power of 5, this equals 32. 2 to the power of 6 is 64. 2 to the power of 7 is 64 times 2, that is 128. 2 to the power of 8 is 128 times 2, that is 256. And 2 to the power of 9 is 256 times 2, that is 512. Don't forget that 2 to the power of 10 is 512 times 2, that is 1024. You need to get used to all these multiples of 2 and even multiples of 3. Right now, we are going to have this way. So, what have I achieved now? The bases are now the same. Remember, if you have a power b and this equals a power c, when the bases are the same, you compare the exponent, that means you have b equals c. So the whole of this will represent our b, and while this represents our c. So what this simply means is that we are going to have b equals c. That means we have 3 power 4 power n equals 9. Have you seen it? So to solve this again, we need to express this in its exponential form. 9 is a perfect square, which is 3 to the power of 2, that is 3 times 3. So we have 3 power 4 power n, this equals 3 to the power of 2. Now what you should notice is at every instant, I try to ensure that the bases are the same so that I can compare the exponents. Now we have 3 power 4 power n equals 3 power 2. I go back to this identity. When the bases are the same, you compare the exponents. And in this case, the exponent here is just 4 to the power of n, and the exponent here is 2. So what we are going to have will simply be, this is 4 power n, and this equals 2. So now we have this. How do we solve for n? I can decide to express this 4 in terms of 2. Remember, 4 is simply 2 power 2. So 4 is 2 to the power of 2, and this is raised to the power of n, and this equals 2. Now, if you have a power n raised to the power of n, this equals a power n times n. So I'm going to multiply this exponent out. I'm going to have 2 power 2n, and this equals 2. So right now we go back to the same identity. If you have a power a and this equals a power c, that means we have a equals c. Now this is to the power of 1. We are going to have 2 power n equals 1. So in order to solve for n, what we need to do is, I need to divide this by 2. Divide this by 2 to eliminate 2. So I'm going to have n equals 1 over 2. So this becomes my answer, 1 over 2. So what we are going to do again will be to insert this value here. We need to insert the value of n, which is 1 over 2, right here in this particular exponential problem, which is 2 power 3 power 4 power n. And let's check if we are going to have 512. So we have 1 over 2 for n. Now, like I said earlier on, this is when we are going to make use of the identity. If you have a power b power c power d, concentrate on the first two exponents before you proceed to the third one. That means we are going to consider this 4 power n. 4 power n, and our n is 1 over 2. This means we have 4 power 1 over 2. So what is the meaning of 4 power 1 over 2? This simply means the square root of 4. Remember, if you have a power 1 over 2, this is square root of a. So this is square root of 4, which is 2. So 4 power n, in which our n is 1 over half, 1 over 2 is 2, right? That means what we had earlier on is 2 power 3 power 4 power 1 over 2. This equals 512. And this 4 power 1 over 2 is what? 2 from what we have solved so far. So I'm going to replace 4 power 1 over 2 with 2. From here, our cascaded exponential remains 2 power 3. Now, instead of having 4 power half, I'm going to replace it with 2, which is 2, and this equals 512. Have you seen it? Now, the next step is to consider 3 power 2. 3 power 2 is simply 3 times 3, which is what? 9. So I'm going to replace this with 9. So I'm going to have 2 power 9, which is 512. So what is the value of 2 power 9? 2 power 9 simply means 2 times 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 2. Is this the same thing as 512? So from here, 2 times 2, 4, 4 times 2, 8, 8 times 2, 16. 16 times 2, 32 times 2. That is 64 times 2, 128 times 2, 256 times 2. 256 times 2 will give you 512, which is the same thing as 512. Left hand side equals right hand side. This has satisfied the equation. So ladies and gentlemen, this is how you can solve this type of an exponential problem. The first step is to also express this other part in its exponential form. Then, if the bases are the same, you compare the exponents. If the bases are not the same, you are going to make use of log or natural log. Do you understand me? Now, the bases are the same. We compare the exponents. We equated 3 power 4 power n to 9. We also express 9 in its exponential form. And we check if the bases are the same. We compare the exponent again, which was 4 power n equals 2. From here, we can solve for n. You can as well make use of log here and solve for n. You have the same thing. You can make use of log here. It's very simple. Let me just show you something now. Let me make a small space. This is out of this topic right now, but I want to make you understand something. You have 4 power n equals 2. You can make use of log. Log of 4 power n equals log 2. The n comes behind this, so you have n log 4 equals log 2 divided by log 4 divided by log 4, right? So from here, this cancel this, you have n equals log 2 divided by log 4. You can express it as log 2 power 2. And the property of log holds here. The 2 comes behind the log. So what you are going to have is n equals log 2 divided by 2 log 2. Log 2 cancel log 2. This is 1 over 2. Are you seeing it? As simple as that. You make use of the log. You make use of everything you want. Mathematics is very simple, guys. That's it. Thank you and see you again.